Welcome to AP Computer Science A. Over the last couple of lessons we've dove straight into the Java programming. There's a little bit of theory that goes along with the programming that I just want to sort of recap for this first module. So as you should be aware by now, Java is a 20-year-old programming language, which is fairly old by computer standards, but it's still widely used because it's pretty simple, it's portable, and it's secure. And it's also device agnostic, which means that it can be used on Mac, on PC, and also on Linux. So whilst Java is a little bit more strict in syntax than, say, Python or Swift, it also allows students to understand a little bit more about what they're actually writing. So Java is a compiled language, so that means that it needs to go through the Java virtual machine to be compiled and processed as machine language, so then your computer can interpret it. This is also slightly different from languages like Python, which is an interpreted language and doesn't need to go through a compiler. So as I mentioned before, Java is a compiled language, and that means that what we write into the .java file is transformed into bytecode by the compiler before it's executed by the Java virtual machine, which allows your computer to then run it. The job of the compiler is to translate the human-friendly programming language which you type in into that machine code, which the computer can then execute. The compiling process also catches any mistakes that you may have created when you were typing your code before the computer actually runs it.
Java variables and methods are named very similar. They use what's called camel case. Now your applications will still run, they'll still compile.
So first of all
Java
programs
just good programming practices. It's something that you need to be aware of for your AP exam. Start declaring variables and outputting.
Each Java
program
needs to have a main
method that encapsulates.
So not every class needs to have a main method, but at least your main class needs to have a method. This is what's executed when your program is run. And all that a method is a block of sequence tasks which the computer executes in order. So this main method here holds the structure for our main program. Finally, we've got the print statement here. So the print statement is an example of a task which will be run once the main method is executed. In the structure of the print statement, you can see that there is the print line method, which comes from the object out, which is inside of the system library. So in this course we're going to be using BlueJ IDE, mainly just because it's free and it's simple to use. So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, and basically what that does is it enables the programmers to write their code. So for us it's Java, and that is then compiled and interpreted by the IDE. IDE is also really useful for programs because they can increase their productivity. So there's lots of common things that we see in IDEs, like being able to edit your source code, of course, and build your executables. But we've also got inbuilt functionality like syntax highlighting and autocomplete, which makes our lives as programmers a little bit easier. So that's just a quick summary of what we've covered in the introduction to this unit. Please make sure you post any questions that you may have.